Happy New Year. Happy New Year. That's pretty good. And welcome to worship with the Unitarian Universalist Church of Ventura. I am the Reverend Dana Worsnop, delighted to serve this congregation. And I greet the good people here in the sanctuary and all of you joining online, Zoom, streaming YouTube. It is good to be together to start this new year together on the very first day of it, and to be together in all the ways that we have learned to create community. Our theme for January is finding our center. The start of a new year is a great time to think about recentering our lives, reflecting on the core values that we live by, breathing into what is central to the meaning and purpose of our lives. What matters and why? Our modern word worship comes from an Old English word that essentially means shaping worth shaping. Isn't that nice? So this morning, I have asked 5 folks to share one of their favorite hymns from our hymnals and reflect on what it means to them. For our hymns are one of the ways we shape worth together. Just a couple of announcements. One of them is that next Sunday is our annual fire communion, in which we burn away that which no longer serves us from the previous year. And I'm going to do a quick demonstration because this is the coolest stuff in the world. We use flash paper. People write something on it, and then oh, if I had another, I would do it again and again and again. Also, I just want to say that, so I am not a big fan of New Year's resolutions, because that's why we do the flash paper. We burn away the unnecessary. We don't burden ourselves with added resolutions. And I also do want to say that if you make resolutions, I'm good with it for you. And if you have made a resolution to start coming to church in the new year, or to come more often, or whatever, I'm all in for that. So maybe we'll burn away the obstacles to that and enter fresh in the new year. And so now I invite you to arrive fully wherever you are. Breathe into the center of your body, the center of your being, as we create and enter sacred space.
Associate Ruth Capel. We invite those who are Zooming or streaming into this service to light a chalice or candle at home, as Reverend Dana lights the chalice of our free faith here in the sanctuary. We begin our service with these words from The Heart of Our Faith by Reverend Monica Jacobson Tennyson. What is it that calls you here, that calls you onward, that calls you inward, that calls you homeward? What is it that gives you the power to make that change, to ask that question, to take that journey? What is it that says you have done well, that asks you to learn more, that brings you into stillness, that holds you up in hard times? It is relationship, the beating heart of our faith. It begins when we share this hour, our truths, our hearts. Come, let us worship together.
Good morning. I'm Kathy Swift, and I'm going to be sharing my song, favorite song, Let It Be a Dance. A special song for sure, because especially when my daughter is here and we get up and dance together, it just makes my heart soar. And what a joy dancing is. I mean, even if you don't like to dance, the swaying back and forth to any kind of music, like elephants sway back and forth, really can lift your spirit. A quote on the wall in the infusion room center that my husband read says, "Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass. Life is about learning to dance in the rain." And then Garth Brooks has I have a good quote from his song that I love. "I could have missed the pain, but I'd have missed the dance." So don't miss a chance to dance. Now if you'll join me in singing, Let It Be a Dance. Eyes, body, and spirit.
311.
Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need to reap the harvest of the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body burn and bend. And like a willow in the wind. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. A child was born to grow must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. And take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning star come out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, share the pain. round and round we go again. Let it be a dance.
So I noticed that very often I put that hymn at the very end because it dances us on out. Today I think you're going to hear many of your favorite hymns in all kinds of different places, and just enjoy. What a way to, I realize now we can just dance on in as well. Finding the center. What lies at your core? At the core of the center of your beingness? What lies at the center of our faith tradition? Finding the center of a faith that is always evolving may seem an impossible paradox, though I will argue that there is always a paradox at the center, at the core of any religion worth its salt. We humans are beings who are alive and know that we will die. A paradox that leads us to question the meaning and purpose of this amazing, improbable existence. Yet we are also wildly creative, so we have come up with all sorts of measures of what makes a good life, all arising within a cultural and historical context, which is partly why there are so many religions and so many points of view on this. Some traditions find one gobsmacking truth and stick with it. That truth becomes their center. Unitarian Universalists keep moving and thinking, learning and changing. And that is the center of what we do, and part of what draws you here. And yet, because of that, every few decades, we have created a different kind of snapshot of our core understanding of what we hold most true. Our current hymnal, the gray one, came out in 1993. And a colleague once told me he thought that this hymnal saved our faith. This hymnody, which is just a fancier word for a collection of hymns, says something about us. And this one, my friend said, gave us a center that held, at least at the time. So I decided to do a bit of a dive into hymnals of the past. There were various Unitarian and Universalist hymnals in the 19th century. The most comprehensive seems to be from 1864, when Samuel Johnson and Samuel Longfellow, brother to Henry Wadsworth, both Unitarian, actually all of them Unitarian, they wrote and compiled a hymnal called Hymns of the Spirit. The 20th century brought us the red hymnal, which is called, I love this one, Hymns of the Spirit for Use in the Free Churches of America. It was published in 1937. After the consolidation of the Unitarians and the Universalists in 1961, it made good sense to put out a consolidated hymn book. So then came the blue one, which I cannot find my copy of. Then came the blue one, which is Hymns for the Celebration of Life. It was published in 1964 and reflected the growing humanism in our tradition with hymns like, Gird thy sword, O man. It even made a beginning attempt to grow beyond that masculine universal pronoun with an alternate title to the hymn, Dear Lord and Father of Mankind, forgive our foolish ways. Folks could also sing the alternate, which was, Dear Lord and Master of us all. Okay, just wow, just wow. And so you see that as we grow and evolve in our understanding of things, our hymnals need to grow as well. The gray hymnal, singing the living tradition, was published in 1993, and it reflected our UU principles, purposes, and sources, which were revised and then adopted in 1985. These hymns reflected the growing influence of second-wave feminism and LGBTQ rights. And it went even more into interfaith, the interfaith sources that we embrace. Now, 30 years later, however, it still shows that the compilers, while the compilers mostly got the masculine universal, dealt with the man and girding swords, I think, as well, but got rid of some of that, it also created a gender binary that we now, 30 years later, see more clearly. So you see how we continue to evolve and grow. Now, I did a not exhaustive, but relatively good look at all the hymns in all three of the hymnals. And there are 44 hymns that wound up in all three, the red, the blue, and the gray. Of those, I would now keep maybe 20. But I would keep maybe 20, though interestingly, none of those 20 that I would keep are among the hymns that folks chose. So these are all the hymns now are the ones that are new in the gray, and then, the blue hymnals. I missed that. Okay. So we also in 2005, we got the green or teal hymnal. And then also in 2009, we got hymnal in Spanish. So we're learning and growing and expanding. Now, I will also note that the red and the blue hymnals also included My Country 'Tis of Thee and America the Beautiful. Both of those were gone by the 1990s, replaced perhaps by one of the hymns we will soon sing, a sign of progress and a growing awareness of this country's place in the world. And some of the songs in all four of these hymnals already feel like real clunkers. And as our horizons have broadened and our understanding of so many things has deepened. Because we are continuing to evolve and grow, we are now actively in the Unitarian Universalist Association, which means all of you. We are now in the process of revising our principles and purposes. We have indeed learned so much more in the last 40 years since the last major revision of them. And will we get another hymnal? Perhaps a digital database of hymns? Is this now an old technology? And which will be the clunkers in that and the keepers when or if that revision comes? And today we are hearing from folks about what I'm assuming they would consider the keepers as we move forward and on. Songs enter our heart, body, and soul on a different channel than either the words or silence of our worth shaping. There is a way that our hymnals do become a holy book, reflecting what is truest at a point in time. It helps us name and sing our living tradition, our evolving faith. So far, we have been invited to let it be a dance. I invite you all on a singing journey this morning through our faith. Let the singing, and you can keep dancing if you'd like, commence.
Each Sunday, this congregation gives away our collection to an organization in the larger community, or to funds that help people in our own church. Those at home have two ways to give: through the link posted in the Zoom chat, or by texting from your phone to the number on the screen. Folks present can text to give, or you can write a check or give cash, then drop it in the basket at the end of after the service at the back of the sanctuary. Our offering today goes to the Dana, I don't have text.
Oh,
Oh,
no, you don't, because I didn't do that. Oh my gosh, I think I have to do this. It's our own in-reach outreach fund, right? Yeah, let me just step in here. Sorry about that. Yeah, I just left that right on out. I had some good time off, just so you know. Our offering today goes to our own in-reach outreach funds, which are the funds that you give that allow us to help people in our congregation in need, and also people who come to our doors in need. And sometimes, people who get money from this, they promise to pay it back. Oh, I'll pay you back, I'll pay you back. And I say, good, you can, but there really is no need at all. This is a gift freely given. You need it. Just take that burden off. Just take it and let yourself feel freer by the generosity of this congregation. And if you want to, don't pay it back, but pay it forward so that we can say to someone else, here, you need something. You're in a rough spot, and $50 or $100 or even sometimes a little bit more will really smooth that on over, so that just here. It is a gift of grace and generosity from this congregation. So please give generously as you always do.
Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. I think I finally learned, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming that the life I had is ever coming back. No more wishing on someone else's star that'll never be mine. I think it's time, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I've survived many times before, broken hearts and slamming doors. I'll be all right, yes I will once more, just as I did back then. I'm gonna rise again, so bring it on. to do. Oh, I know.
Good morning. My name is Ryyn Schumacher, and I'm a fairly new member of this church. I want to first thank you for allowing me to share my reflection on a favorite hymn of mine. This hymn is "This Is My Song." If I may, I'd like to tell you a story of why this song means so much to me. I was a young boy when I came to America, wide-eyed and awestruck by the new land with different new people who spoke in a strange new language. At first, I had the most severe culture shock, but in time, I learned to love this country. I discovered that this is where my hopes and my dreams were possible, and many of them, those hopes and dreams, I set out and I accomplished. Growing up in the US, I initially embodied a sense of American pride. I felt the need as a young child then to shed my Filipino roots just so I can fit in. And at the time, I wanted to no longer be Filipino because I was American. I had a misguided notion that I was on a higher status, that I was better than my family in the Philippines because, again, I was American. This is the symptom of the American melting pot indoctrination, how so many of us who immigrate to this new land confuse patriotism with nationalism. As an adult, I quickly realized that the backwater understanding that one culture is better than another is divisive and ridiculous. Diversity in its purest form is the celebration of life, all life, that humans can live together in peace. What this song represents to me is the realization that American culture is only one of many beautiful cultures in the world, and that the lands and the culture in the Philippines is not better or worse, but just as beautiful. We cannot define the value of people by their economic status. This is my song, O God of all nations, a song of peace for lands afar and mine. May 2023 bring peace in lands afar and mine. And may we sing the voices that carry this message of peace as it reverberates throughout the world.
This is my song, O God of all the nations, a song of peace for lands afar and mine. This is my home, the country where my heart is. Here are my hopes, my dreams, my holy shrine. But others' hearts in other lands are beating with hopes and dreams as true and high as mine. My country's skies are bluer than the oceans, and sunlight beams on clover leaf and pine. But other lands have sunlight too, and clover, and skies are everywhere as blue as mine. Oh, hear my song, thou God of all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine.
Now is the time in our service when we hold up the great joys and sorrows that grace our lives. We place stones in water for both the celebrations and sorrows in our hearts, making ripples that are felt throughout our community. You can submit a joy or sorrow for sharing via a link on our website, uuventura.org, or a link in our Thursday email bulletin, UUCV This Week. I invite you now to speak into the gathered community or write into the Zoom chat the names of those you wish to celebrate or memorialize, or those in need of the loving embrace of our beloved community. Reverend Dana, yeah, I'll wait. Reverend Dana will now place one final stone into the water for all the joys and sorrows yet unspoken in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. May we be truly grateful for all that is our life.
Seated for this hymn.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
Perfect New Year's meditation. I'm sure everybody here experienced that a little differently, and we all have different images in our heads. So I'm going to share my experience with that. And there's two ways to do it. With your eyes closed and with your eyes open and walking. That's how I often do it, because the pace is so slow. It invites you to breathe. And I've never been good at sitting still and meditating. So walking and singing, those are the ways that I can do it. And just the voice range, I love it. It's perfect for my voice, so heck. There's three ways, there's three verses to this, and there's also different thoughts within one verse. And I've used it as a tool, really. This is the hymn that I use more as a tool than any other hymn that we have. And so the I verse, and usually I use this as when I'm tempted to say, oh God, those idiots. And then I think, those idiots, my brothers, my neighbors, half the country sometimes. And so then I take a deep breath and think, may I be filled with loving kindness towards those people and not make them somebody else. May they be part of me. May you be filled. I've used this in a meditation room when I was just so sad and heartbroken over probably bin Laden at the time, if I had to think. And it was trying to send that loving kindness out and somehow hoping it would be contagious. May you be filled with loving kindness. And then sometimes the you verse is for the people I know and love that need a little bit of extra. So that's the, may you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. So that's, I'm sending that out to the people that I know need that. And the we, that's when I do the best meditating. I can close my eyes and somehow I can become part of the universe. That's the we. May we be filled with loving kindness. And I can feel my soul just spreading over the earth with my eyes closed. And so I feel like we are limitless. We, humanity, are limitless when we can sing and feel for each other.
Thank you, Sandy. I invite you now all into a time of stillness and meditation. Close your eyes if you wish, or soften your gaze. Sit quietly, notice your breath, letting it fall into a natural rhythm. May we all be filled with loving kindness. May we all listen to the song in our hearts. What music this morning is finding its way into your silence? What are the songs of your heart, and how do they call to you? A silent meditation.
Good morning and Happy New Year. My hymnal reflection today is about hymn Blue Boat Home. This hymn was written by singer-songwriter, guitarist Peter Mayer in the early 2000s. Its melody is based on Hyfrydol, a tune meaning cheerful or pleasant. And that was written by Welsh composer Roland Prichard in 1830. It is thought to collaborate heavily to our seventh principle, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. I and many others feel it was written by Mayer to emphasize the fragile and timeless beauty of Earth. I'm extremely fond of the Earth, and I love the out of doors and what nature has to offer us, from the mountains to the sea and everywhere in between. I wonder if any of you feel as I do, that while it is exciting, educational, and likely important for us to explore the moon, Mars, and what else is out there in the universe, I think we need to focus on perfecting and saving our blue boat home, just as much, if not more. Every time I hear this hymn, I'm brought back to many of us UUs singing it in the outdoor amphitheater at Camp de Venneville on a gorgeous day with majestic trees and a blue sky backdrop. For me, it didn't get much better than that.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim soul, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, breathe the infinite
Hello, I'm Meyer. What a beautiful, worshipful song that is. And if finding, reaffirming personal worth is at the core of worship, then the song I want to share with you, Hymn 1007, is also a perfect worshipful song. Its lyrics, there's a river flowing in my soul, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. Move me, just like that last song, every time I sing it. And I love that this wonderful affirmation is coming to me from deep inside my own soul, my own heart, my own mind, not from some outside source. It's like singing that inner joy, finding a way out, even though the melody is like an old spiritual. I feel uplifted each and every time I sing it. And there's another layer to this song that makes it work for me. It's knowing something about how the song came to be. It was written, our hymnal tells us, by Rose Sanders, but she changed her name in 2003, saying that was came from her slave heritage. So she now goes by the name Faya Ora Rose Touré, and she is an amazing woman. Harvard-educated civil rights attorney, voting rights activist, first female African-American judge in Alabama, founder of several museums, several magnet schools that focus on helping children of color love to read. She's written over 40 plays, 200 songs, and this song came about some 50 years ago when she visited as a guest speaker at a school near her home that was an all-black school. And she said to the children there, she asked them, "Why do you suppose there are no little white children in your school?" And they said, I want to quote her, "It's because we are not smart enough and the white children do not want to be around us." And so this song was born to help those children and all of us to feel, to know from deep inside our own personal worth and dignity. Please rise in body or spirit as you are able and join me in singing and feeling, "There's a river flowing in my soul."
There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul. And it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my
extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth. Please join me, please join me. Please join me in reading the words on the screen as we prepare to extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment, those we carry into our lives until we are together again.
So I invite the folks who are on Zoom to go into breakout rooms, turn on your screens, look and see who's there, and have a conversation about your favorite hymn, or if you must, your New Year's resolutions. And if you're here and you have a check or cash for our InReach Outreach Fund, you can put it in the basket at the back of the sanctuary there. And before I leave you with the final words, I just have to say what a delight it has been to hear people, when we announce the hymn, go, "Oh, that's the one I would have chosen." "Oh, my favorite too." There are many favorites in our holy hymnal, our holy books. So I leave you with these words adapted from the Reverend Dawn Shea Cooley. Let us go out into the world singing songs that invite our spirits to dance together with kindness to all, songs of peace for lands afar and our own, songs that remind us that we are not alone on this blue boat of a planet, sailing forth on the rivers of our souls. Let us go out into the world singing. We know these songs. They vibrate through time in our very souls. They are songs that give us life, that give us meaning and purpose. Take your life-giving song out into the world. Let us go now, singing with voices deep and strong, and may the world join us in praise, in celebration, and in love. Go forth in love, go forth in peace, go forth singing, may it be so.